Joining us now with more, anchor a special report, Brett Baer. All right, Brett, so this is rather extraordinary, what Cantor said. Not only does it outline some of the first threats we've heard against Republicans, a couple more have leaked out today, but he went after some top Democrats in connection with all of this. Tell us.
He did, specifically referring to comments made by Democratic Congressman Chris Van Hollen, the head of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, who said in an interview that Republicans essentially were pouring flames on this, excuse me, and we're not denying or we're not coming out against these actions against Democratic lawmakers, the brick through the window for Representative Slaughter, and other instances that we've heard over the past day. Now you have a shot being fired at the campaign office of the House Minority Whip, a Republican. He is the highest elected Jewish lawmaker in Congress. He is part of the House leadership, so he does have around-the-clock security, but because of this threat and specific threats, he asked for more security from the U.S. Capitol Police, and he is one of 10 lawmakers. It had previously been reported that only Democratic lawmakers were in that list in other places, and there's at least one and perhaps more Republicans as well. The point being here that the Minority Whip is saying, listen, enough is enough, and Republicans have come out against violence or this kind of action, but it's not just Democratic lawmakers after this health care vote. We
had John Boehner, who's the House Minority Leader, on this program yesterday, who denounced the violence and the threats in no uncertain terms. But nonetheless, what Eric Cantor seemed to be saying today was that some of the Democrats are trying to politicize this. Here's just a sample is it Van Hollen that we have, or is it Tim Kaine? Okay, I'm sorry, it's not. It's Eric Cantor with his accusation. Let's give our viewers a listen.
I have deep concerns that some DCCC Chairman Chris Van Hollen and DNC Chairman Tim Kaine in particular are dangerously fanning the flames by suggesting that these incidents be used as a political weapon. Security threats against members of Congress is not a partisan issue, and they should never be treated that way. To use such threats as political weapons is reprehensible.
And Brett, give us, what is he talking about there, where he's suggesting that these two top Democrats used the threats as political weapons?
Well, both of them gave statements to the media, one on a television interview, Congressman Van Hollen saying Republicans were not doing enough to stand up and denounce this. And Governor Kaine said, who is the head of the Democratic National Committee, of course, said, quote, they're going to, meaning Republicans are going to own part of the slurs cast at members of Congress and people vandalizing members of Congress's offices. Went into specifics there, saying essentially that this is an effort to paint the Republican Party as being behind all of these threats, all of this vandalism, and saying that is Congressman Cantor saying that is not something you should do at a time like this. These are serious incidents that need to be investigated. You mentioned other threats. Congresswoman Jean Schmidt from Ohio has released a voicemail threat, and we saw voicemails being released yesterday by Democratic members. So, listen, this is a culture, an environment that we're in up here on Capitol Hill, where everyone is talking about these threats, but it is not unusual for members of Congress to get these threatening calls. It has happened in big votes before, and Congressman Cantor is pointing out that his office was shot at Monday.
You know, it's sad that that's not unusual, that this is the price you have to pay when you're a lawmaker on either side of the aisle for your vote. We're going to have much more on this with Karl Rove when he joins us less than a half an hour away.